Before we get into today's episode, I just want to take a moment because today marks 4 years of this podcast. 4 years of showing up, having real conversations, saying the things a lot of people think but don't say out loud, and honestly, just growing alongside you. This podcast has evolved so much from the Studio Chat podcast to now Soul and Soma Talk, but the intention has always stayed the same. Real, honest conversations about understanding yourself on a deeper level. So if you've been here for a while, thank you. And if you're new here, you've come at a really good time. All right, so let's get into today's episode. Today's episode is for anyone who is single right now and either hates it, fears it, or is trying to rush out of it. Because I'm going to say something that might hit a little. You're not single by accident. Now, that doesn't mean you're doing something wrong, but it does mean that there's something here for you to see. Because if you were in a relationship right now without this awareness, you would most likely repeat what you've always done. And that's the part people don't want to hear. They want the relationship without becoming the version of themselves who can actually sustain it. And this season you're in right now, it's not a waiting room. It's actually where the real work happens. Somewhere along the way, we've been taught that being single means that there's something wrong with us, that you're behind, that you haven't been chosen, and you're missing out. But what I see in my work every single day as a private practice therapist, I see that people aren't struggling because they're single. I see that they're struggling because they don't know themselves. So they get into relationships and lose themselves, overgive, people please, ignore the red flags and settle. And then they wonder why it doesn't work. Being single gives you something most people avoid: space to actually meet yourself. This season is about awareness. It's about looking at your patterns and being really honest with yourself. Who do you go for? Why do you go for them? What do you tolerate? What do you ignore? And where do you abandon yourself to be loved? Here's the truth. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you're available for. And if you haven't done the work on yourself, you're going to keep choosing the same person in a different body, different face, but with the same dynamic. This is the time to break that. I'm going to give you 3 tools that you can try today. Number 1, I want you to get really honest about your patterns. To do this, I would ideally like you to have a pen and paper and start writing some things down. I want you to stop focusing on why am I single and start asking, why do I keep choosing what I choose? Look at your last relationships or situationships. There will be a pattern there. There always is. And patterns aren't just about who you choose. They're about how you show up each time. Do you overgive at the start? Do you ignore things that don't feel right? Do you try to be easy or chill so someone stays? Do you avoid speaking your needs? Do you stay longer than you should? That's the work right there. Because it's not just about who am I attracting, it's who am I being in relationships. Number 2, build a relationship with yourself. If you don't like being alone with yourself, you will tolerate anything to avoid it. This is your time to learn what you like, what you need, what your standards actually are. Not what you say they are, what you actually accept. And number 3, raise your standards and bloody hold them. Not just, I want someone who blah, 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 blah. But what do I no longer tolerate? What am I available for now? What version of me am I bringing into a relationship? Because your standards don't mean anything if you don't hold them when it matters. Something I see a lot is people confusing chaos for connection. If it feels so intense, it's up and down, it's a little bit unpredictable, they read that as chemistry. And a lot of the time it's your nervous system recognizing something familiar. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's something that's healthy. So part of this season of being single is learning to feel safe in something calm and not run from it. Loneliness will make you lower your standards. It will have you texting people you know aren't right for you, and it will have you going back to what's familiar. But being alone, that's where you build self-trust. That's where you learn, I've got me, and I'm not abandoning myself anymore. So being single isn't the problem. Rushing into something that isn't right for you is. Settling is. Ignoring yourself is. Abandoning yourself to be chosen is. So this season when you're single, it's where you become the version of you that doesn't settle anymore. The goal isn't just to find the right person. It's to become the version of you who no longer entertains what isn't right. Because when that shift happens, everything you accept changes. So if you're single right now, I want you to sit with this. Are you actually ready for the relationship you say you want? Or are there still patterns you need to look at? You don't need a relationship, you need awareness. Lonely and alone are not the same thing. You can't create a healthy relationship from an unhealthy version of you, and your patterns will always feel like chemistry. And you know what? I'd rather you be single and doing the work than in a relationship repeating the same pain. If something in this episode landed for you or made you stop and think a little deeper about your patterns, your relationships, or where you are right now, that's your sign that there's more here for you. This is the work I do with my clients every day, helping you understand yourself, your patterns, and shift the way you show up in your life and relationships. And if you feel like you're ready to go deeper with this, you can work with me through my private practice called Self-Care Studio. I offer both in-person sessions here in the studio and online sessions as well. I'll leave the link in the show notes for you to explore. And if you want to head over to Instagram, it's self_care_studio. And as always, thank you for being here, for listening, and for doing the work. I'll speak to you in the next episode.